Okay, I'm going to make a video on this type of question shown in question 8 because I hate this type of question. Okay, so as you watch the video, if you look up the Advanced Higher Biology paper 2018 and find question 8 in the multiple choice, have that displayed on half your screen or print off and do it in front of you while you watch this video. Okay, I'm not able to show the question at the same time. So, key things to note here is we're going to pull out some data to use. So if we look at the end of the question, it says we want to know the number of molecules per cell. So there's going to be different steps to this. At the top, we know there's 10 to the power 6 cells. So we're going to start with what we know about that, then eventually work back to 1 cell. So I'm going to do a bit of flicking back and forth with the screens. Ideally, I would show you a piece of paper with me writing on it, but it's going to be hard for me to film that. So, okay, so let's start with what we know. We've got 1 to the 10 to the power of 6. Okay, it's going to be hard for me to do this, so I'll just do it with a space, okay? So the power of 6, that's the number of cells we have. Now the question tells us that they have 0.4 milligrams of protein. Now we don't actually care about that protein, so let me come down a couple of steps. So we've got 0.4 milligrams of protein. What we really care about is the actin. Now the actin represents 4.5% of that. Okay, so 1.4 is 100%. To find out 1%, that's easy enough then. I'm just going to divide that by 100. Okay, so on your calculator, if you put in your 0.4, you divide that by 100, and there you're going to have what 1% is worth. Now to get 4.5%, we just times this up. So times 4.5. Okay, so be careful you know what you're talking about. What we're saying is that 4.5 represents 0.018 milligrams of actin. Okay, so actually we don't care that the cells have 0.4 milligrams of protein. What we care about is 10 to the power 6 cells have 0.018 milligrams of actin. Right, so our next step then is to work out how many molecules, because that's what we need, are in the actin. So come down to the page again. Let's look back at the question and see what we know. We know that 42 grams of actin has 6.02 to the power of 20. So, first of all, that's grams and we're working in milligrams. So, let's get rid of that. 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. So what we have is 40,000 milligrams equals or 6.02 to the power of 20. From that, let's work out what 1 milligram is worth then. Okay, so on your calculator, if you locate your EE button, or it could be EXP button, that's going to allow us to do to the power. So we're going to put in 6.02. Now, you don't type times. You press the E button, and that's doing your times 10 to the power of. And so we said that it's to the power of 20. Oops, sorry, pressing that one over here. It's the power of 20. Okay, so that's what 42,000 milligrams equals. So to work that down to 1 milligram, I want to divide that by 42,000. Okay, so 1.43, round at that, to the power of 16 is 1 milligram. Now, is 1 milligram of any use to us? If we look back up at the top here, we'll see actually we're working at 0.018 milligrams, so we're below that. So, because we're working at we want to work out basically 0.018, our next step, I would suggest, would be to go down and work out what 0.001 is worth. Okay, so to get from 1 milligram to go down there, we have to divide that by 1,000. Okay, so on your calculator, divide it by 1,000, and now we've got 1.43 to the power of 13. So finally we've got to what 0.001 mg is worth. So the numbers don't get confusing, let's use units to make sure we know what we're talking about. Now I can work out what 0.018 is worth, because I can just times that number above by 18 to bring it back up. So times 18, that's 2.58 to the power of 14. Okay, so we've done our working at the bottom, so let's go back up to the top. What this has worked out is, in this milligrams, this is how many molecules we have. Okay, because it said at the top the 42 grams of not action, so it's just the automatic typing. Gave you this number of molecules. So now we know what that's worth, let's replace that. So we've gone from the number of milligrams of actin through to the actual number of molecules, which is what we're after. 10 times to the power of 14 molecules. Okay, so we're trying to find out what one cell is worth. So that is to the power of 6, so we want to divide by the power of 6 to bring it down to one cell. Okay, so we've already got this in the calculator, 2.58 to the power of 14. Divide that by 1 to the power of 6. And that's going to give us our final answer. Now looking at the multiple choice, it's to the power. So it's 2.58. And if you look at that, that's to the power of 8. So our answer is answer A.